Okay, Charlie Jane, I have a question for you that's straight out of science fiction. So if medical science could somehow perform an imagination-ectomy on you, outside of the obvious impact to your work, how different would your life be?
Oh my God, if I lost my imagination, I really think I would lose the best part of me. I would not even be able to function in the world at all because I've never been terribly good at taking the world at face value. I think using my imagination helps me to escape from what I call the "but of course" trap. This idea that things always have to be a particular way and we're all trapped by too much terrible certainty. I feel like I use my imagination just to deal with other people all the time. Imagination lets me put myself in other people's perspectives, and it allows me to solve the millions of problems that come up all of the time.
I completely agree. Imagination allows me to interact with the world. Without imagination, I would not only lose myself, the thing that makes me me, but my communication would be stunted, my excitement for newness would be numb, and I would lose my ability to hope and feel true joy.
I love the way you talk about joy. How do you experience joy as an outgrowth of imagination?
My imagination makes me laugh as much as it makes me cry. I create these ridiculous what-if scenarios and answer the questions with patience and a thorough investigation. Even when I imagine the hardest of things, joy is always present because the sheer act of imagining is joyous to me.
I feel all of that so deeply, although sometimes I get stuck, and it's super frustrating. What do you do when you get stuck?
Imagination can definitely hit a roadblock, for sure. And sometimes as writers, imposter syndrome can creep in and try and sabotage my work. And in these moments, I lean back into the reason why I am creating. So I ask, why am I creating this piece? What is the most important aspect of it for me? Is it provoking a feeling? A statement? What is the feeling and what statement do I want to come across? How is the work and service of what I am trying to say or do? And even when it is not perfect, does the meaning still come across? What matters to me more than how perfect a shot may be or how well placed a word is? Does it communicate my intent? And if it does, then it's enough. Besides, how can anything we make be perfect when we're so beautifully imperfect? I want to add that imagination can take us to some dark spaces, even spaces we'd rather avoid, but sometimes stories or characters call for it. And the ability to drum up feelings of dread, fear, anxiety from your own life are great. And you can channel them into characters, and sometimes it's cathartic too. In these instances, I often help my character find a way out of a horrible circumstance that they're in, and this helps me right the world as well. I'm able to seek justice or revenge or kick-assness in the darkness of scary imagination and emerge triumphant because I was able to pull my character and myself out of it. In Rafiki, the hardest scene was the fight scene with the girls beaten up because of their love for each other. And it was as painful to write as it was to direct. It was grueling and tiring and emotionally exhaustive. But I knew that my characters could get through it and that their love and resilience would make everything all right. And it helped me get through those very same dark spaces.
I am a huge believer in using creative writing and storytelling to deal with dark things in real life, as I wrote about in my book, Never Say You Can't Survive. Like imagining the worst that could possibly happen and trying to understand it and see how you could actually survive it. I can't create characters who'd feel like real people unless they have some dark sides. And if you've been living on this planet for the last few years, you've probably been super upset about something. You have to allow yourself to feel that. Don't let yourself go numb. It's not always a nice feeling, but it's a damn storytelling goldmine. I also think anger is a powerful fire that can lead to joy and inspiration and tenderness. And sometimes, when imagination does take me to really dark places, it helps a lot to have a community of creative people that I can lean on.
I completely agree. My community has been so important to me, and I have the honor of being close friends with other filmmakers, actors, musicians who constantly live and try to make a living from their imagination. And their silliness and their frivolity is completely valid. They find new and inventive ways of thinking through life's problems. We can sit and gossip for hours on end about what our characters did, as if they were a part of our own inner circle. Being around people who take your imagination seriously is a joy. People who can challenge, question, push, and ponder the questions behind the questions with you. When my film Rafiki was banned in Kenya, the first to reach out were the creative community. They felt like I did, that freedom of expression is not only vital, it is the lifeblood of a free society. And they made me feel strong, appreciated, and supported. And imaginative people are everywhere. You can check them in your book clubs, your local and online spaces, your writing spaces, your artistic Facebook groups. If you seek them, they will definitely appear.
Yes, they will. And there are a million ways to find your people, from reading at open mic events to joining writing workshops to going to classes. Just put yourself out there. Find creators whose work you love and send them a nice email. They'll be really happy to hear from you, and maybe you'll strike up a friendship. I've never regretted reaching out to people I admire. Out in the world, I live for spoken word events and queer communities who share honest stories with each other. I would definitely not be the writer I am today without the people who've given me feedback on my work and who have helped push me to be better, but have also supported me when my spirits have been crushed. There's just immense warmth and happiness in the notion of finding your people and getting the chance to be part of something worthwhile.
And this course has been a creative, imaginative community of sorts. So what would you want learners in this community to remember and cherish as we end our time with them? If you had a single idea to hold close, what would it be?
You are already imagining in your everyday life. Don't worry about copying anybody else or comparing yourself to anyone else.
I would say creating creates. So just do it. By starting to create and getting over the incredible hump of just starting to create, you exercise your imagination. And the more you push yourself to write, to draw, paint, sing, and even perform, the more you're able to do so. It's almost like a muscle waiting patiently to be used. And once you start to use it, it becomes more and more flexible and allows you to do more.
When Nuri and I know that you've got this, you are going to imagine things that nobody else could ever have come up with. Your unique dreams and hopes and ideas will be emblazoned like a heraldic crest across the fabric of your brand new creation, and we can't wait to see it. So get out there and do it.